Bank holiday Monday, and you can probably guess what I'm going to do. This is another one of those big bell pots, and they've got Sarpo Myras in them, which is a main crop potato, but they're not doing very well. It's not been a very good year for potatoes, to be honest. A lot of plants started off really good, and then because of wind, excessive rain, etc., they've taken a bit of a beating. So it seems like they're all gearing up that little bit earlier this year. I'm sure we'll still get something out of it. So we'll get these tipped out, and then I think we've got a few more tomatoes we can harvest. So we'll keep on top of that as well, get those sauces made up and get them in that freezer for that very soon to be autumn. So we'll get this foliage cut off, see what we've got. Well, that's them tops cut away, and you might notice that once again I didn't fill container to the top, and I've done that quite a few times this year. I did try a bit of bark in it to see if that would make any difference to what we get, and hopefully that's not going to be a negative difference. We'll see. Let's just tip it out, see what we got. Just before I empty this container, thank you very much to Marie for making that donation yesterday via the super thanks button. Thank you very much for your generosity with that donation. It really helps us out while we're making videos 7 days a week and now working towards as autumn, winter sowing and planting. So very kind of you. Thank you so much for that, Marie. Not a lot on bottom, but it's what's in the middle that matters. And we've definitely got some. In fact, quite a few, but look at that. They're not massive potatoes once again, but the potatoes all the same. And I'm harvesting these quite early because I always get worried about scab at this time of year. We've definitely got a bit of something here. And these little ones, they're perfectly fine. I'm not expecting big potatoes this year, if I were honest. So it's been a bit of a strange one. So we'll get rid of all these roots, and we can take a look at what we got. They're not in bad condition, to be fair, but we do seem to have quite a few, and if they're smaller potatoes but we get a lot, that's all the better for me. And some of them aren't a bad size either. Like that one as well, and they're all nice and firm. So we're not doing too bad after this so far. Another nice one there. The label. A couple more. Let's dig in a little bit more. Chuck some of this back into this container, so I'll reuse that next year. One nearly got away. Another one there. Looks like that is it. But that's still a pretty good result from a small container. To be honest, I don't think that were bad. That container weren't even full once again, but we still got a good amount of potatoes out in it. There's a few meals to come out of those. And as I said, I need to harvest these plants a little bit earlier than I normally would, because the tops are dying back. They've had 6 weeks of rain, and I'm always worried they're going to get scab. So far, these are alright. I've seen a little bit of a sign on it on one of previous harvests, but that's not bad at all. We've got some good sized ones there, so let's get those weighed. Well, I've got my bag, got my scales. Let's get these in, see what we're looking at. As average over the last few in containers round about this size have been between £6 and £7, so somewhere along that would be alright, especially considering we're not using quite as much compost as we should have been doing. Kind of skimped on that, I think, this year. Not purposely, we've just missed a couple of containers this year that didn't get topped off. But then again, we're consistently raining. It has been a bit off-putting at times. So we'll get all those in here. Let's not miss one. That bag's just big enough. So they're on pounds. We've set it to 0. Let's have a look at what we get from this one. Quite a bit less in this one. £4.2. Still not bad. Over £4 of potatoes, but not as good as that previous one. Although we know that this one wasn't quite as full. So that's still a good result. There we go, 4.22. Not as much as we were hoping for, but still a pretty good result from a small container at over £4 of potatoes, especially since some of them are quite good size. We've still got a few more to go out yet. I've got a couple more of these big bell pots, and they've got Sarpos in too. And then I've got a smaller container in Container Garden, and they've got Picasso in. So over the next couple of weeks, I think we'll be emptying them all. Get that done and dusted, and if we get too many potatoes, we know we can always freeze them. But for now, I think it's time I harvested some more tomatoes, because as we approach autumn, they're going to produce less and less. They're also going to ripen less, so we need to take off as many as we can that are red. So those remaining ones that are still green at least stand a chance of ripening, because all the energy will then go to them and not ones that should have been picked already. So I'll get some of those done in the next hour or so after I've cut all grass, and we'll see how many more tomatoes we get, because we've already had quite a lot this year. And if you're interested in seeing how we freeze potatoes and store them for months and months, we have got a link just there to that video. And while you're over on Cooking Channel, why not hit subscribe as well, and then you'll get updates whenever we put new videos on, showing you what we do with all the produce that we grow through here. If you're interested in seeing what's in those other potato containers, then please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Take care.